Welcome to USA Global TV and Radio, where our mission is to provide education, entertainment, hope, and inspiration. USA Global TV and Radio connects you with experts and audiences all around the world every single day to help you succeed in business and to live a richer life. Visit us at usaglobaltv.com to learn about career and life-changing training and mentoring programs like the Listening Mentor. Subscribe to our newsletter to stay informed about our special programs and offers. Discover how you can become a guest on one of our shows or a host or producer of a USA Global TV and Radio show of your very own. That's USA Global TV and Radio, where the doctor is always in.
Hello, welcome to USA Global TV and Radio. We provide world-class education, entertainment, hope and inspiration. My name is Caroline HEWARD and I'm known as the Harley Street Stress Expert. A warm welcome to our loyal viewers and a very warm welcome to our friends at E360 TV. And also a hello and a warm welcome to our new viewers and friends across ROKU worldwide and Amazon Fire. And our usual social media channels and platforms, YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn and X. Our show today is A Woman's Prerogative. This show is part one. We have part two a little later at 9 p.m. British Summer Time, which is 4 p.m. Eastern Time. And I'm also hosting that show too. Today, our show, A Woman's Prerogative Part 1, is brought to you in partnership with E360 TV. Our show tonight is going to be a very interesting and topical one. And we are looking today, our topic is United in Strength, Global Women Lifting Each Other. Let me say that again, because just in saying it made me feel kind of empowered. United in Strength, Global Women Lifting Each Other. And of course, I'm not alone tonight. I have a wonderful expert panelist, our wonderful Dr. Madalene Chan, and she's coming all the way from London to share with you some wonderful insights about global women. So let's bring out all the way from London, Dr. Madalene Chan.
Hi there, Caroline.
Hello.
Thank
Lovely
you.
to have you.
Hey, yeah, what the soaring temperatures in the UK. Don't know what happened today. It's just
Tell me about it.
How are you with it? Ooh, I'm like,
it's warm in the north too. So please, Dr. Chan, tell our viewers, especially our new viewers, a little bit about who you are and what you do before we launch into the show topic.
Thank you, Caroline. Right. What I do is I'm known as a soul heart awakener. And by that means is the way that I help people to awaken their creative heart, to be able to be connected to their creative heart genius, where they find their passion, their purpose. I get them on their divine path. I guide them to understand how to follow their intuition to help them to bring out the best in themselves, in their creativity, whether it's their passion, their purpose, their belief. And what I do is I've worked with a good team called Songs for You. And because I'm a singer-songwriter awarded, I decided to work together with them. And what we have is here. It's called Songs for You. And we tailor make a song, whether it's for family generational song, looking forward to babies, or saying goodbye to a loved one and didn't have the chance to do that. Writing and singing about your brand and how you want to share it with the world, or writing and sharing your life story. That's what we do at Songs for You. And at the same time, I help people to bring out the confidence in their voice, their inner voice, to balance out with their external voice, to be able to live from the inside out. That's what I do. Oh, and also I was going to say, I forgot, I'm a TV presenter for the Film and Music Show, for the Talking Heads. And I'm especially happy today because I'm here on the panel with the lovely Caroline, the host for A Woman's Prerogative. There you go.
Thank you, Dr. Chan. Wow. And for me, I'm known as the Harley Street Stress Expert, and I'm also your host for tonight's show and for A Woman's Prerogative Part 2. I'm also a TV presenter on other shows at USA Global TV and Radio. I help people bust their stress. How do I do that? I literally identify the root cause of what creates the repeating patterns, and the repeating patterns can be physical aches and pains, emotional aches, pains, and it also can be behavioral. And what I mean by behavioral is, are you complaining about the relationship? Are you complaining about constantly a member of family that they do something to you or they make you feel something? You might be complaining that you're not sleeping, and it might be that you will walk around saying, I'm not stressed. And if you are saying you're not stressed, but you're not sleeping, or you've got a beef with a member of family, then this is how your stress is manifesting in your life. And I help you break through the chains that imprison you in your way that you experience stress, anxiety, depression, and any imbalance in your life. And I help you by using root cause therapy and chakra psychology. And I look forward to helping you bust your stress. So now we're going to get into the topic, and we're going to fire up into our wonderful United in Strength global women lifting each other up. So now let's bring out Dr. Madalene Chan and let's begin. Now, we had a little conversation backstage, and we started to think about and talk about some of the things we were going to talk about in this show. And I'm actually going to hand over to Dr. Madalene Chan because she's going to talk about something that I've not seen. I'm interested to hear about. So, but before we do that, please tell me, Dr. Chan, when you think about United in Strength global women, lifting each other up. When you think about global women, who are the first thoughts that come up in your mind when you think about global women?
That's an interesting question. You put me on the spot there, Caroline. All right. I would say inner power, nurturer, carer, having the understanding of just the mother of invention, the power.
That's beautiful. And that wasn't what I was sure that you were going to say. And at the same time, global women, this is something that, it is about the nurturer. It is about somebody who's compassionate. When we think about people that are sitting on boards, on the corporate boards, these are women have an innate nurturing capacity about them. They have an innate level of interconnection with each other, and looking at how the other person can benefit. That's the natural skill of a woman, that she comes from compassion. She will come from a place of working together with other people rather than being a solopreneur, rather than being on their own. They will usually generate extremely good teams. So I want to move on to this subject that we were talking about backstage, because I'd love you to share with our viewers, because I haven't seen it. It's on my bucket list. The film Barbie. It's been very, very controversially talked about, and so it's on my list to look at. So tell me, Dr. Chan, what are your thoughts and experiences when you watched Barbie? Because I'm led to believe from some of the reviews that it's not what it sounded like it was going to be about. So can you share with our viewers what your thoughts were and how you approached the film and what you actually got from it?
Wow. Okay. Well, first of all, Caroline, in the household, everybody said, oh, I don't know whether to watch Barbie. And I said, I'm going to do it. Oh, no, I don't want to watch it, because of the way that Barbie is being portrayed. You know, the California blonde, all pink, accessories, being into all that. So I thought it's going to be a very child-related movie. And I was completely shocked. It was a real revelation. When the opening scene came along, and the lovely, I think it was Helen Mirren, was the actress. Helen Mirren was the narrator. You could see that, you remember all the Victorian old dolls, the porcelain Victorian old dolls. Well, these children from pre-war were opening scene, were playing with these. Then suddenly, it's almost, the narrator said, they were getting bored. They were getting fed up. Suddenly, this 6-foot blonde with iconic sunglasses and this beautiful swimwear walked up to them in the heels, really stereotyped. And the girls who were in dowdy brown, dark grey colouring looked up. These children looked up, the young girls, and they went, wow, who's that? The next minute, you find the kids bashing the toys, the dolls that they loved before, to go for this stereotyped, iconic beauty blonde. And what was interesting about this was the fact that, so that was first. And the next thing was, it was saying, she was explaining about Barbie is evolved, because Barbie was at first just the independent blonde beach beauty, and she had her clothes, so she was Barbie. Then she became Barbie nurse, cooking Barbie, travel agent Barbie, space Barbie, driving car Barbie, mother Barbie as well. I mean, I couldn't believe it. They actually had a blooming pregnant doll. A pregnant doll. And Helen Mirren says, oh, we can't, we had to take that out of production. We can't have a pregnant Barbie. It was so funny. And how it was the men in Barbie were just called Ken. All of them were clones called Ken. So it was interesting how all the Barbies were there, Barbie president, and they had all diversity, all colors, but they were strong, independent women, and they were all calling, hi, Barbie, hi, Barbie. That's what they were saying. And the song, Pink, da, 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 oh, Pink. And you think, oh, this is so cool. I used to have a swimming pool like that. I used to have Barbie cooking, all this. And then the next minute, they're all dancing and celebrating. And then suddenly Barbie goes, she goes, have you ever thought about death? And everyone just froze completely. What did she say? So how it is, the stereotyped, and she's so powerful in that world of Mattel. But then when she has to go into the real world, the human world, she's then treated like a sex symbol. And the guys are whistling and trying to smack her posterior and go, yeah, babe, whoa, whoa, whoa. And she's saying, oh, wait a minute. I know, she's saying to Ken, I know how to handle these men. All they need is a bit of Barbie philosophy. So she goes along with the roller skates and she's looking absolutely fabulous. Like literally Florida. Is it Florida? Yeah, the full colors, looking fab, California. And these workmen are looking at her and looking up and down and being typical men. So it was interesting how she realized that in the real world, she wasn't as powerful as she was. And she went to see her, these other girls that used to have Barbie, and they said, oh, we don't like Barbie anymore because you make us have a bad name. It's really interesting.
What did you get as the moral from the story? What did you gain in terms of, you know, some films have like a moralistic ending. What did you gain in terms of the insight from Barbie, the film?
I would say that she was just in this plastic bubble, and she just, it's almost stereotyped. I don't know. I mean, for me personally, it was about, not to. One minute they were putting men down, next minute making men quite high up, and the next minute they were the women were iconic, but then put down in the real world. So it just shows that the actual times of what we're in.
That's fascinating.
But giving the raise and the power, the empowerment of in that magical land that these women created. There were women presidents. There were all corporate, high-end living women, all communing together. So it was, to me, it was a world of the global women lifting each other. Barbie is exactly that, but in Barbie land, not in the real world. So it's interesting. I thought the concept of how there is the rise of the female empowerment, leadership, and how it was really strongly brought through, but then not acceptable in the real world because it was governed by other regulations and suppression of the female power. That's what I got.
Thank you so much, Dr. Chan, for sharing what you have about the Barbie film. It sounds like it has many levels of interpretation and many levels of interaction in terms of, you know, what's the messages that are coming from it. And one of the things that I want to pick up on that you mentioned is empowerment. Because that was something that I was very drawn to when I was young and I was looking for role models. And one of my role models was Mother Teresa. And even though it was, you know, she's quite an old role model, from my perspective, I felt that there wasn't very many women back then that were highlighted as global leaders and had got something to say. There was a lot of men when I was growing up, but not a lot of women. And Mother Teresa really stood out to me as having very little and actually making a difference. And what she was doing was lifting the world from a very different place, from a place of understanding, compassion, and humbleness. And, you know, I felt that she was not only lifting women, she was also lifting children and men in deprived countries and in countries that were third world, that didn't have the resources that the Western world had. And it was something that I felt very passionate about, that I wanted to do something that was meaningful in life. And she definitely was an icon globally from my perspective, and also from the perspective of giving the world something that it might not have seen. Because way back then, TV isn't like it is today. We didn't have all the internet of things back then, and we didn't have that social media in the way that we have today. And so she was actually showing what was going on in countries apart from the Western world that didn't have even clean water or food. And it was, for me, it was quite extraordinary that one woman, an elderly woman, was going out there and lifting people up and uniting people, and actually uniting them in a power of strength by coming from a place of humbleness and from a place of, we can do this together. What are your thoughts on what I've just shared, Dr. Chan?
Oh, I love Mother Teresa. She's Saint Mother Teresa, isn't it? They made her a saint, Saint Mother Teresa. I find her so, you know, when sometimes in life someone comes along that they already have the gifts within them. And I believe with all my heart, she had the gift of the compassionate soul. And because if she didn't have that, then it would be very difficult to be able to achieve what she had to achieve. So there was something, she was connected with the divine feminine, even though she didn't look the feminine as a stereotyped feminine. She was every inch a princess, a feminine energy within her, compassionate soul. Her soul was magnified. She was there for the people. She was the people's heart. And she was there for the children and for everyone around the world. I find her absolutely, she is number one to me, without a doubt. And I'm sure across the veil, she's turned into an ascended master.
I so agree with you. She was my role model back then. And somebody else that comes to mind, and I am thinking about my childhood role models, because there wasn't very many women, there was more men. And so the women always stood out to me. And I was very interested as a young person in, you know, save the planet, save the whale, save the dolphin, you know, save, you know, the environment. And it was very, you know, very akin back then, you know, to be quite out there. You know, it was a bit hippie to be having those kinds of principles that I was living by. I even did we had a campaign called Keep Britain Tidy. And I would make people, if they drop litter, I'd make them pick it up, because I was very much, you know, about that campaigning type of person. But the person that really struck at me way back then, a woman that really broke boundaries and brought again the Eastern world into the West and what was going on in those deprived countries, Anita Roddick from The Body Shop. And what she did for me is she made it so that it wasn't just about a man that could go out and bring beauty into this world and bring product and look at finding natural things. You know, it was actually a woman that could do that, because it was a woman's prerogative in terms of the skin and the products. They were much more interested in that side of things. And I certainly was an avid viewer, and I used to go very regularly to the Body Shop and buy their things. And that for me was something that was very empowering, because she came across as a very empowered woman, somebody again compassionate about what she believed. And it was one of those, what I would call a self-interest business that grew and blossomed. What are your thoughts about Anita Roddick and what she did in terms of uniting women in strength?
Well, Caroline, that's an interesting question. What I find about Anita Roddick, the fact that she was the one that campaigned the movement of against animal testing, and her products, she actually went and sourced them from Arizona or for wherever, for extreme conditions, and she went and she tested it herself. And I find her absolutely amazing. And I was introduced to products and I followed it because of her. I wouldn't use any products that were tested on animals. So at that time, Body Shop products weren't exactly cheap. They weren't. No. They're not. They're catered. They're tailored for a certain, the career woman, the woman that's, or people that just save their money. Oh, wow. We used to say, wow, we've got something from the Body Shop. Oh, so even, yeah. But I found her absolutely, she created that great movement for that time in the 80s. Was it 80s, 90s? It was.
I think it was. It would have been very early 80s.
It was 80s, wasn't it? Yeah. And that was considered a phenomenal for what she brought through. I mean, now we have them all over, not in Body Shop, but bunny-free, cruelty-free products. But
it was something, as I'm now 60, it was, she really stood out to me as an icon and someone who was making a stand for something against our norms, because there was very much the philosophy of testing on animals and beauty without even considering the cruelty to animals and the cruelty to our environment. And so I felt that she was very much, she was looking at beauty from an entirely different place that stood out for me. And she united women and men. In fact, you know, she really did bring a movement of people coming together, looking at the effect of testing on animals and how dangerous and how horrible that was. And when we only had 3 or 4 channels at that time, it was a big deal to be seeing something like that for the first time. And that brings me on to one of our own homegrown global icons. When I think about global icons in terms of today's times, one of the people that I do think about, and I really relish in saying this, is our own in-house wonderful Dr. Jacqueline
KERBECK.
And the reason I say that is because Dr. Jacqueline, and I know that she's in the background, you know, doing the broadcasting, she's probably blushing at the moment. I do feel it's important to bring our wonderful Dr. Jacqueline KERBECK to this conversation. And that's because without Dr. Jacqueline, there wouldn't have been this channel, and there wouldn't have been the cohesive and incredible team that we have today. And it's literally, I'm in the north of England now. I was in London for a long time. I'm now in the north of England. You're in London in the south of England. And in part 2 of A Woman's Prerogative, we have the wonderful Mariska de PREEZ, and she's actually in New Zealand. And we have people from all over the world. And we've become friends. You know, we have the wonderful Janetta Barry, who was previously an expert panelist on our show, and she was in South Africa. And what it made me realize is that the world is very small, and what Dr. Jacqueline has done is she's brought some incredible people together and made what would have been an impossibility happen in her 4 walls from her home behind the green screen, which is one of her books, I believe. And so, you know, I owe her a lot in terms of the empowerment, the inspiration, and the education in terms of being able to deliver my message and help lots of people around the world by being on this channel and by being on the social media platforms. What are your thoughts about how she's changed your life? Because I've gone from, you know, probably therapist one-to-one in my living room or in Harley Street, you know, or in a corporate environment. I've gone from that very small environment to now being global and on TV, you know, and preparing for TV. And I never ever thought that was possible. And I feel that she's become an icon in her own right, and writing books since she left corporate. You know, she really inspires me, and I feel totally inspired by being here right here today hosting this show. Tell me what your thoughts about what I've just shared, Dr. Chan.
Well, I am totally in awe of the CEO, the founder, the creator of the Mothership USA Global TV and Radio. I say it to every day, I confirm this, and I know that it's growing even bigger. I feel that Dr. Jacqueline has just been gifted with so much, a gift of inspiration and connection, worldwide connections. I believe with all my heart that she can just meet someone, put them together, because she knows they will work well together. And what she's created, what Dr. Jacqueline has actually created, is the new TV, radio, media that has been one that should have been born a long time ago. But Dr. Jacqueline KERBECK has been given that gift and the grace through God, the universe, all this. She gets all the help because she has been chosen for this role. And because she's been chosen for this role, everyone's magnetizing towards it because it's a massive movement, what she's creating. She's creating the media as it should be for the golden age, a spiritual business of hope, education, bringing people's stories through at affordable prices, where normally if you went on any other TV platforms, it'd be a lot of money, astronomical. So for me personally, she really helped me because I had this fear, even though I was singing in auditoriums, being a singer, being in the industry, I had this fear of actually speaking to people, addressing people. And I always dreamed about becoming a presenter, a host, a TV presenter. So she helped me to face that fear. She guided me. She opened that creative genius and she nurtured me. And I am so forever, ever grateful in every way. And I'm so happy because I help to bring more people to say, hey, come on, you must be part of this mothership. Get on board this mothership. You know, like we're going to get 100K subscribers. Yeah, people out there, help us all. This is the movement of creativity, the movement and inspiration, the movement of worldwide connections is through this wonderful, iconic, beautiful woman, Dr. Jacqueline KERBECK. So, yeah, I'm there, Caroline.
I'm sure she's very blushing at the back there. Thank you, Dr. Jacqueline. And I would just like to sort of have a personal thank you that I would say that I wouldn't have felt very comfortable on the technical side, and I didn't feel comfortable. And it was through Dr. Jacqueline's support, direction, and encouragement that it allowed me to explore the tech and buy the relevant technical things to be able to do what I'm doing now. And given the opportunity of doing something that I never thought was possible. And that's something that happens with global women, that they can lift you up and elevate you to a place where you can reach more people and help more people in a way that you wouldn't have been able to without that support and that guidance. And that just brings me on to somebody else that I'm thinking about. Way back when I was young and she was there, she was quite an icon and on TV a lot. And we were talking backstage before we came onto the show, and it was, we spoke about Oprah Winfrey. And she was somebody that I felt she wasn't famous in her own right, but what she did was she interviewed lots of famous people. And lots of people that had the education that she didn't have and had a lot of very wonderful stories to tell. So she was the interviewer. And she reminds me very much of how Dr. Jacqueline is, that, sort of the powerful interviewer has become the powerful person, the powerful global woman. And she became, I believe, quite famous because she interviewed really, really successful people. And to have those interviewing skills is a skill. And she became that global woman that lifted people up. She united people in strength from being a global woman on TV. What are your thoughts about Oprah Winfrey and what she did for womankind and literally helping each other to another place?
That's a good question again, Karen. I find Oprah just absolutely world changing. Just one of these iconic, you know, in life you get these iconic people that just change things, and she did. And she came from humble beginnings, extreme humble beginnings. So she decided to learn her trade before going to interview the celebrities. She was doing other little jobs, but she studied everyone's job within that area. So I find her, and she also applied creative visualization. She is to me master manifester, because she manifested everything from humble beginnings, from nothing. And she also turned out to be a really good actress as well. She's a fantastic actress. And the way that even with literacy, with book club, she really helps a lot of new authors as well. She's a power. She is the iconic woman of I would say of the old age. She was practicing what women are doing now. She was actually working it with her interview skills, making it personal, making it like a living room. She was the first one to do that. She made, and all other interviewers followed in pursuit. It was more about a nice, comfortable background for one-to-one interviews. And she's solid. She's iconic, literally iconic in every way. And there hasn't been any bad press.
Well, Dr. Chan, we are almost at the end of our show, believe it or not. And there are so many global women I wanted to talk about. But, you know, it was a quick, short fire. I do want to mention some people that are global women, iconic, and made a difference. They actually made a change in our world. Whether we agree or not agree with the way that they did it or their politics, so to speak, Hillary Clinton was one that, you know, I felt was very famous. And not going into politics, it was something that she did in terms of making the woman stand for something. Lady Di, Lady Diana, Lady Di is commonly known, very, very humbly known by our British people, and also known for her compassion, her humbleness, was really the first lady in our country. And Lady Diana was mourned by many because she actually raised the game about compassion with AIDS patients. And there are many, many people like that that followed her because she united not only women, she united the world. And I feel a bit emotional here in saying that she united the world in compassion for the AIDS sufferers and for the whole of the world globally. When she died, it made a difference. And when she died, it was obvious she made an impression. There are many, many people that we could be including, business people, but we have now actually run out of time. So before we go, I'd like to just quickly go back to Dr. Madalene Chan. If you can please share how people can contact you.
Thank you, Caroline. And thank you, Karen, because you've just been an amazing host. You're absolutely amazing. I'm a big fan. And I know that chakra psychology and root cause therapy is going to be the #1 therapy. I know it will be. Anyway, okay, about me. If you can please contact me on LinkedIn, Dr. Madalene Chan. You can look at my website as well, madalenchan.com. And I want to hear from people who feel a bit stuck in their life and they want to try out some creativity. Be in contact with their creative genius. That's what I can do, and I can help. Or if you want a song about your brand, about family generational song, I can help you write it, or we can write it ourselves. I can help you sing it if you want to express it yourself. I'm all about the creative heart, which is the soul heart awakening. So please do contact me.
Thank you, Dr. Chan. It's always a pleasure to share the show with you. I never quite know what you're going to say, and I was very enlightened by your feedback on the Barbie film on my bucket list. For me, you can reach me on nomorestress@live.co.uk, or you can call me if you're international. Use +44. If you're local, 07523 120 189, and I will help you bust your stress. I'm offering an extremely extraordinary, silly offer of £50 for a 1-hour consultation. So please do reach out to me and book in your consultation. You can find me on all the social media platforms. My preferred social media platform is Facebook and then LinkedIn. And obviously, if you Google me and look at this channel, you will find all of my videos, all my shows on USA Global TV and Radio under my name. Well, it's been fun. It's been fast paced. We've looked at a lot. And there's a lot more to look at. But, you know, rest assured, I am back in almost just under an hour and a half. So I'm back at 9 p.m. British Summer Time, which is 4 p.m. Eastern Time for a Woman's Prerogative Part 2. Would you believe that today it's our 126th episode of A Woman's Prerogative? And so I'm going to look forward to joining you for our 127th episode in A Woman's Prerogative Part 2. And I look forward to seeing you then. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining us. But before we leave us, please do stay tuned and listen to our wonderful sponsors. And before I hand over to our sponsors, a very, very big thank you to our wonderful Dr. Jacqueline for doing the magic behind the scenes and hosting and broadcasting this show tonight. And I look forward to seeing you on Part 2. A very, very big thank you to our viewers at E360 TV, and I look forward to seeing you later on if you're in on the live or on the replay. Thank you very much for joining us. I look forward to seeing you in Part 2. Bye-bye for now, and now over to our sponsors.
USA Global TV and Radio proudly presents our partner and sponsor, Mr. Philip Sykes and the British School of Excellence. Building confidence, changing lives. And now, proudly presenting The Polished Professional.
On a transformative journey with the British School of Excellence's comprehensive suite of masterclasses, crafted to elevate your professional and personal life. 8 outstanding modules will elevate you to the next level. Module 1, Exploring Life's Purpose, delves into the depths of self-discovery, guiding you to chart your unique path to fulfillment and success. Module 2, Mastering Professional Presence and Confidence. This masterclass is a deep dive into the art of self-assurance and commanding presence, which is essential for standing out in today's competitive landscape. Module 3, Learn the secrets of visual impact, how to curate a personal style that amplifies your professional brand. Module 4, Mastering Professional Etiquette and Communication Excellence, navigating the nuances of corporate interaction with grace and tact. Module 5, Elegance in Eloquence. We impart powerful techniques to captivate and persuade any audience with your oratory skills. Module 6, Unlock the potential of your emotional intelligence, EQ, and harness the ability to connect, empathize, and lead with emotional savvy. Module 7, Mastering DISC, building a gateway to understanding behavioral, styles, fostering better personal and professional relationships. Module 8, Mastery in Dining Etiquette. Building your confidence to perfect the subtleties of dining with finesse, enhancing your social savviness at any table. Step into the Polished Professional program where poise, elegance, and excellence aren't just taught, they're instilled for life. Join us to redefine your potential and polish your professional edge.
To learn more, go to thebritishschoolofexcellence.com. The British School of Excellence are investors in people. Let us invest in you. USA Global TV and Radio proudly presents Unstoppable Podcast. No matter where you are right now or what circumstances you face, lasting success is within your reach. Starring Ralph Graves Jr., author of the book Unstoppable. Ralph is a pastor, transformational speaker, and consultant. Follow Ralph on social media at Ralph Graves Jr. Unstoppable Podcast Wednesdays on USA Global TV and Radio. You are unstoppable.
Meet Dr. Jacqueline KERBECK, President, Founder, and Chief Listening Officer of USA Global TV and Radio. She is a certified life, career, and executive coach. Dr. Jacqueline is the Amazon #1 best-selling author of Behind the Green Screen and Adversity to Awesome. As the listening mentor, she teaches children and their families how to listen at an elevated level through the book series titled The Amazing Adventures of Lady Ella, the Listening Mentor. The Creative Hearts Awakening book series features heart-centric creatives who share their awakening journey. Through the Power of Listening educational course platform, people can get certified as elevated listeners on USA Global TV and Radio. Learn how to center yourself and align with nature through the power of nature, plants, and shrines. The Journey of Chakra Psychology course will educate you on the chakras and their meaning. The Intuition of the Heart course will help you understand how to trust your intuition. Learn how to face the shadows of self and understand the impact of following trends and materialism. Set boundaries and ask for permission to help establish better relationships, deeper connections, and more authentic conversations. Take your communication expertise to a higher level with the course for curious humans. After all, we are not robots. Looking to start your own podcast platform? Get everything you need in the Podcaster Pro package with Dr. Jacqueline KERBECK. How can music, breath, and your voice set you free? Find out with the Power of Listening courses. Dr. Jacqueline is a certified meditation teacher, yoga instructor, and Juice Plus distributor. She will help you create a plan for your healthy lifestyle. As an expert in the art of interviewing with over 3,000 hosted and/or produced live broadcasts, Dr. KERBECK helps her clients stand out as global broadcasters. Dr. KERBECK's books are available on Amazon. Start your listening journey by reading. Tune into the Listening Mentor TV show, Fridays on USA Global TV, and learn how listening can be your superpower. Dr. Jacqueline KERBECK, MBA, DBA, Certified Holistic Life, Career, and Executive Coach, Certified Yoga Sculpt Teacher, Certified Meditation Teacher, The Listening Mentor, Singer-Songwriter, Founder, President, Chief Listening Officer of USA Global TV and Radio. drjacalyn.com. Thank you to all our elevated listeners, team members, animal characters, and co-authors. Contact us at 215-852-9406. Jacqueline at drjacalyn.com.
This program has been brought to you in part by Zane Carson Carruth, etiquette and protocol expert, international award-winning author, television show host, and philanthropist. Thank you to Zane, our official diamond sponsor for USA Global TV and Radio in partnership with E360 TV. Zane is the author of The World's First Tooth Fairy Ever, as well as many other children's books. She's also the television host of Elegance, Polished Demeanor, and Posh Living, seen on USA Global TV and Radio.
Hi, my name is Zane Carson Carruth, and I'm the author of this book, The World's First Tooth Fairy Ever.
Reading is magic. Studies have shown that reading to your children lays the foundation for greater success in life. Reading helps develop language and vocabulary skills. It helps improve memory, and it encourages curiosity and inspires creativity. The benefits are immeasurable, and as a parent, you'll benefit too. In only 10 or 15 minutes a day, you'll be creating more memories and a bonding experience that will last for years to come. So take time to read to your children. Read them books about things that engage and interest them. Tales of fairies and magic fascinate children, and as everyone knows, the Tooth Fairy is at the top of the list. If your child loves magic, wands, adventure, and what child doesn't, you'll love reading them books from the trademarked series The World's First Tooth Fairy Ever. Follow along as Abella, the world's first tooth fairy, accidentally starts the tooth fairy tradition. Learn the tricks of being a professional tooth fairy in the book Abella Starts a Tooth Fairy School. Your child's imagination will soar as you read the adventures of Abella and her magic wand. These wonderful books are available at worldsfirsttoothfairy.com and at Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Walmart.
To learn more about Zane, contact her through her website, zanecarruth.com, ZANECARRUTH.com. Order Zane's books and merchandise. Contact her about being a keynote speaker at your next event.